Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface with AZCHATS number 73. It's back! AZCHATS video, the more podcasty type of video as opposed to a visual video. Something for you to listen to as opposed to view. Although, in today's video, at some junctures, there will be something to have a look at as I bring up some examples. But it's still the perfect opportunity for you to step away from the keyboard, crank me up in the background, and get on with whatever you need to do around the house. And because this is an AZCHATS video, it may contain fruity language. I can almost guarantee it today. That means language of an adult nature. So if you are offended by such things, probably not the video for you to listen to. Now, you can probably guess from the title of this video, this today is going to be about my experience with Mass Effect Andromeda. EA Early Access allows you to play 10 hours worth of Mass Effect Andromeda. And from what I have seen in my experience, I have cancelled my pre-order for this game. Not just cancelled it to reduce it down to a shorter, smaller costing version, because I actually had the collector's edition, 250 quid, the one that you get the Normandy remote control, lights up, video camera, dune buggy thing, because I'm a man-child and proud, can I just say? But no, I didn't reduce it down to like just the bog standard version. I got rid of the whole fucking thing. The whole thing. This is not a game I'm willing to purchase at all for full price, and in actual fact, I don't even know if this game is worth me sinking my time into, as we will go into throughout this video. So, strap on in, get your popcorn out, it's time for some rage, because I cannot fucking believe what I experienced with Mass Effect Andromeda yesterday. So let me just go into a very brief history of my background with the Mass Effect games. I really enjoyed Mass Effect 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to lie and say, oh, it's my most favourite franchise of all time and they've killed my favourite franchise and all this kind of jazz. No, I really liked the games. I thought they were awesome to play. I played 1, 2, and 3 all the way through. Yes, number 3 has a bit of a poor ending, but the rest of it prior to that, the ending's only like 15 minutes, for goodness sake. The rest of it prior to that was a very good game. When Mass Effect 1 came out back in 2007, I thought of it as a flawed masterpiece. They had a fantastic idea. They had a wonderful vision, but it was executed a little bit poorly in certain places. The combat was poor. The exploration of the planets was poor. Yada, yada, yada. There were certain aspects which just didn't work. The beauty, though, is you could see what they were trying to achieve, and for the most part, the story was really engaging, the characters were engaging, and you knew that this was going to lead somewhere, well, pretty excellent. Then came Mass Effect 2 in 2010, and it blew my socks off. It's one of my favourite games of all time, and to be quite honest with you, should be in any person's top 10 list of top 10 games of all time. Mass Effect 2 stuck in there. They took all the criticism, all the critique of the first Mass Effect, and they turned it into something beautiful. Combat became a lot better. The exploration elements became a wee bit better, but the characters and the stories, everything got turned up a little notch. And then, believe it or not, Mass Effect 3 came out just a couple of years later. Now, I will say that Mass Effect 3 is pretty much more of Mass Effect 2, but at the same time, it was beautiful stuff. It was like getting some cheesecake and then just being told, here, have a little bit more of the cheesecake. You're just like, I really shouldn't, but I'm just going to quaff it all down. So apart from the ending of Mass Effect 3, suddenly the storyline in Mass Effect 3 got turned up to 11. That dial got switched up to 11. The Reapers were hitting, and Earth and every other planet was under attack, and every species was under the threat of extinction, and there were some pretty emotional moments, really heartfelt moments in Mass Effect 3. What I'm trying to say is, as we'll get into the video, Mass Effect 3 had some amazing emotional undertones. Never mind undertones, there was just emotional game, period. Mass Effect Andromeda. Emotion. Remember what that is? Anyway, let's not skip ahead. So, there's been a 5-year gap between the last Mass Effect game and Mass Effect Andromeda. And here we are. I think the 6th of March, Mass Effect 3 was launched. And then on the 23rd of March, Mass Effect Andromeda is going to launch. So, literally just over 5 years has passed since the last game. People are ready for a new Mass Effect. People are even let go of Shepard now. They're okay with a new protagonist in the game. They are ready, willing, and able to see where this franchise can take us. Now, I was a little bit nervous, first of all, when I heard about Mass Effect Andromeda, and the reason why is I wasn't hearing the kind of things which I wanted to hear about it. And as much as I wanted to hear things about amazing worlds to explore, amazing characters to be introduced to, the new combat system, not going to say revolutionary because that's a bit unfair, the new combat system, the developed combat system that they've brought into this game, the exploration elements, all this kind of stuff. And I wasn't really hearing things like that. I was kind of hearing things like, what's wrong with your face? Because the animations of the characters looked really weird. Especially the facial and eye expressions in the first released videos, and most of the topics of conversation seemed about how many alien races you could fuck. Now, yes, there is sexy time in Mass Effect games, and to me, there's nothing wrong with sexy time in games. It works if it's part of the story, but it certainly shouldn't be a key feature. It should be a byproduct feature. You know, a little bit of a side quest in case you want some, you want a bit of romance, you want a bit of titty, you want a bit of dick. If you want those in your games, it works in certain universes. It works relatively well in Dragon Age. It works excellently in the Witcher franchise because that franchise is way more down and dirty and gritty and it works very well in the Witcher franchise. So there's nothing wrong with that. I'm no prude, people. But when you're kind of hearing these things trying to sell your game, you get a little bit concerned. And it was only in the last few weeks, really, that they were just like, hey, look, here's some new worlds, here's some new characters. And it's kind of like, it's a little bit late in the day, but never mind. So anyway, I thought, look, although I'm concerned, I'm not hearing what I really want to hear. This is Mass Effect. Think back to Mass Effect 2. Think back to Mass Effect 3. Think about how good those games were. This is in safe hands. Come on, this is in safe hands now. Have a little bit of faith. So I was like, okay, let's turn this frown upside down. You did have the big pre-order on. I was happy to keep that on. I was like, yeah, it'll be right. And then I wasn't going to do the EA Early Access. But then I thought to myself, look, there's a little devil on my shoulder. There's a little devil on my shoulder. And this little devil on my shoulder said, do the access, do the early access. So I was like, okay, let's see what it's like. Let's try before I buy. I think I tweeted out a little while ago, if they just introduce try before you buy on every game, the gaming industry would just fucking implode overnight. We saw it with Wildlands, Tom Clancy's The Division Part 2 Wildlands open world fields. We saw it with that. I think the open beta actually had a detrimental effect on sales for that game as people were very underwhelmed. Great to play with friends. Other than that, snooze fest. And I think this early access might have a considerable effect on sales of Mass Effect Andromeda. So I started to get into it, and I thought I'd stream it. And I was actually genuinely excited to stream this because I thought, I'm going to be pleasantly surprised here. I'm going to be pleasantly surprised. They're going to send us off into this new, because we're literally going into a new galaxy now. We're going to Andromeda. We're leaving the Milky Way, and we're setting off into some territory where they can do what the hell they want. They can just go, look, this is what Andromeda's all about. And they just have a whole galaxy to do what the fuck they want with. It's not like, well, we've got to have this planet, really, and we've got to have Jupiter, we've got to have Mars. They can just go for it. You go for it, guys. And I was really excited because I thought we were suddenly going to have this game, this early impression where everyone's going to be like, whoa, dude, look at that, look at this, look at that, look at that. And everyone's going to be like, God, this looks amazing. And I'm going to be like, yeah, man, this is excellent. And woo, look at the way that this combat's going and all this kind of jazz. Fuck my face. I got screwed. We got screwed. I got screwed. You got screwed. We got screwed. I don't think I have laughed as much as I have about a game in a long time. There were parts of the stream yesterday. If you haven't seen it, go to my Twitch channel. Go to the videos. Go to the VODs. Watch the latest stream. It's about 5 hours long. If you want to watch all of it in its crazy goodness, it's unbelievable what we kind of experienced. So first things first, let's start off at the fundamental aspects. This game can't even get the basics right. And this is the really, really annoying and frustrating thing. With the previous Mass Effect series, and I want to do as many comparisons to the previous Mass Effect series because it's the fairest comparison I can do. You know, if I keep if I keep comparing it to Horizon Zero Dawn or to The Witcher, which I will do at certain aspects, I'm sure, in this video, some people might think that's being a little bit unkind. So if I try and make as many Mass Effect to Mass Effect comparisons as possible, we are literally talking about the same company. We're literally talking like for like here. In the initial Mass Effect trilogy, we had characters we could fucking believe in. We had Shepard, who was no nonsense. He was a no nonsense kind of a guy who was a Spectre to start with and all this kind of jazz. And he goes on this unbelievable journey, And Shepard could have moments of levity. Shepard could have moments of love. He could have moments of compassion. He could have all these amazing moments, and a lot of them were determined by how you played the character. But no matter what choices you gave, Shepard was a consistent entity. His acting was always very good, I thought, for the most part. He came across as a believable character. He came across as a likable character. A character which I could get behind. A character who I could support. A character that at the end of Mass Effect 3, I cried when he sacrificed himself. You know, that sort of character. Don't fuck me off with, oh my god, spoilers. That's 5 fucking years old, that game. If you haven't played it, fuck off. So yeah, it was a character that I blubbed about at the end of Mass Effect 3 due to his sacrifice. In actual fact, there were so many moments in Mass Effect 3 which hit me emotionally. Before the final battle, when the kid was killed right at the beginning, you didn't expect that. Great little twist. You thought that he had saved the boy was going to get out, and then when you see the Reapers landing and the boy gets on the spaceship to escape, and then they fly off and the Reaper tears the ship to pieces, and then Shepard just stands there, looks, realizes he failed after he promised the boy he would save him. He turned and realized you can't make these kind of promises when it comes to this sort of extinction level war. And it was a wonderful, poignant moment, and it was a moment in the game which made me go, holy shit. Did not expect that. And Shepard doesn't say anything. There's no OTT, there's nobody around him with quippy dialogue. He just stares, he looks angry, he looks upset, he turns, and he goes into his ship, and they fly off. He goes back, I think, into the Normandy or wherever he was, and they fly off. And it's a fantastic, wonderful, emotional moment of the game. From the start of Mass Effect Andromeda, I don't give a fuck about this character they've created. He is, or she is, depending on which one you play, absolutely fucking stupid. In actual fact, the game starts off in the most ridiculous manner. Such a dumb, stupid manner. It got me so angry. Because the premise of the start is actually really cool. Your character has been in stasis, suspended animation, cryogenics, for 600 years as your ship has travelled from the Milky Way to the Andromeda galaxy. 600 years. And then you'll say to yourself, so let's just all brainstorm together. I'm going to pretend that you're brainstorming with me here. So if I say to you, the game starts with our hero or heroine coming out of cryogenics after 600 600 years. How does the game start, people? And if you've got any sort of creativity in your brain, then people will start firing back things like, well, he's going to be disorientated, very much so to start with. He might or she might. I'm going to just refer to he because I'm masculine. It's not a sexist thing. I'm masculine, so I'm just going to refer to him as he. If you're female, please don't get triggered by this. It's just because I'm masculine, I think in masculine terms. You're feminine, you probably think in feminine terms. So you say to yourself, well, he's probably going to be disorientated because he's had 600 years of cryogenics. He's probably going to be disheveled, maybe long, scraggly hair, fingernails have grown out, long beard, I'm sure they maintain these people and everything, but, chances are they won't, fucking groom them every 3 fucking seconds and stuff. So he's probably, going to be, this would be the perfect opportunity when he comes out. Just have a first-person mode to start with. And then when he comes out of the cryogenics, you're going to have the doctor, just a single doctor there, maybe in a dark room because his eyes aren't going to have adjusted to light. He hasn't opened his eyes in 600 years. So have him in a dark room, maybe just this beam of light, this one, and he's looking from side to side, trying to go, because the doctor's just kind of having a look at the pupils and stuff and seeing what they're like. And then you just hear this doctor's voice telling him, what's your name? What's your name? And that'd be a great time to then put your name of the game, whatever name you want to give your character. Blank Ryder. Because the surname's got to be Ryder, because they need to refer to him as Ryder, and they need to have that narrative go out. They can't refer to them as, hey, you! They've got to refer to them by the name, like they did with Shepherd. You could have something Shepherd. So they're asking you these questions. You could be like, what's your name? And then you could input your name, Derek Ryder. Or, Knight Rider, which I called mine because, fucking reference. And then the doctor would go, good. It looks like, your memory's beginning to trigger back in about who you are. And then it kind of goes into maybe a couple of details about yourself. Can you, which part of Earth are you from? And you could just have some little incidental things which maybe make the character a little bit more poignant to you. Because it could be like, which country on Earth do you come from? And then you could say China if you come from China. Because, if you play in China, you'd be like, yay, represented, yo. If you're from America, you could put America. And then Britain, you could put Britain. Just little incidental questions. Nothing too taxing while they do that. And then it kind of pans out. And then you can character create. You've got this scraggly face and whatever. Then you can character create. And you can customize the character exactly how you want it to be. Because they're going to shave you. And they're going to cut your hair. And they're going to, just give you a little bit of whatever. So they could have done a really cool way of starting the game. No! Fuck that. Fuck having a cool way to introduce your character. Let's just have him sat at the end of the bed in a fucking hospital with lights which look like they've come out of a goddamn fucking soap opera, General Hospital or whatever, Sons and Daughters or whatever fucking stupid soap operas are on TV. And he's just there with a mug of coffee with people going, hey, you're part of the Pathfinder group. Oh, go find us a nice fucking tropical home, dude. This most stupid beginning to the game. And it's just like, what? What happened to a really cool introduction? What happened to a great way to introduce your hero to us? What about a great way to introduce little features like the customization of the character and naming of the character? Just cool little segments like that. No, let's just have him sat at the end of the bed going, whoa, wake up, wakey, dude. Been asleep 600 years, have a cup of coffee. I'm gonna be okay. I've got my coffee. And it's just like, what the fuck is this shit? What the fuck? Terrible beginning. And because the male or the female character, depending on which one you've picked, is actually going to be your twin in this game, they just literally have them in another cryogenics tube, which for some reason is in the med bay. I mean, I probably would have thought they would have thawed you out before taking you to the med bay, but no. Apparently you just bring the old fucking cryogenics tube into the med bay, and then start to defrost them, put them in gas mark fucking 5, probably in this game. And then they just run into this very obvious fucking massive cloud, which is about 58 times the size of the goddamn ship, and go, whoa, where did that come from? Now, as far as I'm aware, this is a manned ship, a fully manned ship with fucking sensors and people with fucking eyes. You couldn't miss the goddamn cloud if you tried. So to have them go straight into it was just like so dumb. So dumb and so stupid and so contrived. And contrived is going to be a word which no doubt will pop up many times throughout this video. It was so fucking contrived and so fucking obvious. It was just like the big book of cliches, that's going to come out quite a lot, was opened up and here you go. And then the characters which you're immediately introduced to are just stereotypes. They're just tropes. It just feels like they've been picked out of various franchise. Cora, I think, is the woman. If I got it wrong, whatever, I don't give a fuck about her. Cora is just picked up straight from, like, Starship Troopers or something. She's got no discernible personality whatsoever. She's all like, whoa, let's just kick some ass. Let's just... There's nothing like anything resembling a personality to go alongside with. Apart from, she's got trendy hair. She's got trendy hair. So she's trendy hair girl. She's trendy hair girl. She is. You know, she's not like Miranda from the Mass Effect series. What's Miranda like? Well, Miranda is, she's genetically enhanced. She's an exceptional fighter. She's beautiful. She's strong. She's fiercely loyal, but at the same time, there's a certain element of what you know, there's something you just don't quite know about her. She has her own agenda as well, you know, hidden back there. She's loyal, but she's secretive at the same time. She's loyal when she needs to be loyal, but she doesn't put all her cards on the table. She holds them back. You know, you could start to describe your Mass Effect characters like this because they have fucking personalities, but this is fucking trendy haircut girl with a bog standard fucking trope-esque personality shoved up her fucking ass with a butt plug by the way that she walks in certain scenes. Waka waka waka. Because the animations are completely off. I'm not going to go massively into the animations. I'll go into that a little bit towards the end. But this is really about the fucking crafting of the game. And the fucking goddamn terrible nature of the storyline, the pacing, the atmosphere, and how they just fail on virtually every level with these fucking fundamental aspects of any sort of game which you're meant to feel and you're meant to invest yourself, your time, and your personality into. You can't do any of that with this so far. And then we get introduced to Liam. Fucking loudmouth, shut the fuck up Liam, who just spouts the most inane dialogue you have ever goddamn heard in your life. So when he's in your party and when he's fighting alongside of you, you just wanna fucking kill him. You just wanna shoot him in the face because any sort of tension of combat, any sort of tension of the moment or where the game or the story could take you is broken up by fucking Liam saying something retarded. Now, don't get on my back about Az. You can't say the word retarded. It's not very nice. No, I can because I'm using it in its truest form. Whoever wrote half of this stuff is mentally deficient because it is so pathetic. It feels like it's been written by a 14-year-old who just went onto the internet and put wartime cliches and then just started to write cliche dialogue and cliche characters because they have no creativity about them whatsoever. They didn't have any idea about how to formulate a personality for these people. Right. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let's just jump back to sat at the edge of your fucking chair after 600 years of cryogenics with your beautifully coiffed hairdo and your mug of coffee and your tiny little bit of trendy stubble. Not much stubble, you know, quite clearly can't grow it in many places. Maybe he's only 22, 23, 24, whatever. You know, come later, mate. Fucking hair goes everywhere when you get old like me. And he's just there with his mug of coffee. And the first thing you hear is, whoa, wakey, wakey, you're out of 600 years of cryogenics. You wanted to go on a mission in 1 hour. Suspension of disbelief. Out the window. Out out the fucking window. What? So our hero, inverted commas, I was doing some air quotes there, even as I'm just recording and he can't see me. Our hero has been asleep for 600 fucking years, wakes up with his beautiful Tony and Guy haircut and his trendy little fucking stubble, has a cup of Dow Egbert's coffee or Nescafe Gold Blend or whatever they fucking give him on the ship, and he's got to go out on a mission in 1 hour. That isn't building tension. That isn't building up a story. That is fucking retarded storytelling that makes no sense at all. At all. This is space. This is sci-fi. This is a great opportunity to start crafting something. And you just go and you're literally just like, we need our character to be in suspended animation because they've got to travel like fucking a billion light years. But we need to make him shoot a gun quickly. What do we do? Give him a cup of coffee and tell him he needs to go on the planet in an hour. Yeah, dude, get that in the game. It feels like it's literally written by fucking brain dead people. So anyway, you get introduced to your dad. By the way, your dad has got a massive medical problem, and it's a serious problem. Your dad has no fucking personality at all. He had it extracted from him at birth, I think. So you've got this character who's speaking very kind of, I am stern father, and you, because I am your father, I'm due to die in 30 minutes because obvious cliche, and then I will pass the Pathfinder on to you, and then because I am dead, you will automatically feel emotional weight because I'm dead. No! No! You don't give a flying fuck about this guy. Not a single flying fuck about your father. Because there's no emotional connection. There's no bonding between the two characters. You're just told that's your father. You need to go down to this planet and he needs to he's going to do some wiggly stuff to see if it's habitable because he's a Pathfinder. Because apparently you've got to have a fucking AI injected up your fucking dick to see whether or not a planet's habitable. Is this planet habitable, Pathfinder? Let me see. Molten lava. Mountains crumbling down around us. What do you think? I don't know. I'm just a fucking retard. You're the Pathfinder. What do you say? I say, this planet is not habitable for us. Oh, thank you, Pathfinder. You're so cool. Yeah, what the fuck? Seriously, what the fuck? You got scanners for that kind of shit. You don't need a fucking AI stuck in somebody's Jap's eye to fucking find out that a planet's going to be habitable or not. For goodness sake, it's moronic. Just a moronic way of bringing the Pathfinder. It's just like somebody said, hey, what if this person, instead of being like a spectre in something, let's just call them a Pathfinder, because that sounds exploratory. What does the Pathfinder do? The Pathfinder determines whether or not you can inhabit this world. Yeah, sure, why not? Because, fuck sensors. Fuck having this amazing technology which takes you millions of fucking light years into another galaxy, and sensors going, well, this planet is X% hydrogen, X% nitrogen, X% this, that, the other. This will support human life. This might be tough. Da-da-da-da. No. Just have a fucking AI stuck up your asshole and tells you, I'm bonded with you now. I think this is a pretty decent planet. What do you think, Alex? I think I should speak in monotone and not have any personality at all. Just terrible, unbelievable, fucking terrible writing. Garbage fucking writing. So you get sent down to the planet to start with, and, whoa, look, there's electrical storms everywhere. Oh, this doesn't look like the brochure picture. Because it doesn't look like the picture that you fucking took from your Hubble telescope in 2186. There's a fucking surprise. 600 years have passed, you dickheads. And they get there, and it's just, oh man, the whole world's fucked up, man. The whole world's fucked up. And then you got to go along and find, because your ship explodes, you got to find all the crew members, which have all managed to land successfully after being smashed out into the fucking atmosphere. But everyone's okay. Don't worry about that. They're fine. And then you go through a minor tutorial about how to use your jetpack, because that was difficult to press a button. And then eventually you come across your first contact with aliens. You come across these 2 fucking aliens which are bullying one of your party members. Now, the Prime Directive, or whatever they call it in this, the protocol, first contact protocol, or whatever in this game, is don't kill anything unless it tries to kill you. You know, that's quite a sensible, in itself, that's quite a sensible fucking idea. You know, don't kill anything. I know it's hard, but don't kill anything unless it tries to kill you. You know, try and talk to them. Try and do something. Try and display some sort of non-aggressive body language if you come across them. See if you can find any middle ground. And even if you can't speak, that doesn't with each other because you don't understand each other's languages, obviously, because it's a different fucking galaxy. You know, don't necessarily just get your gun out and start shooting people in the fucking face. You know, that's a pretty sensible type of ethos to have, right? So you come across a couple of aliens, and they're kicking this crew member around. Oh no, oh god, I got a broken leg, start kicking me. And Liam, Quippy Liam, who you want to fucking stab in the face till he's dead, says, well, let's just fucking shoot him, dude. Now, I have to stop right there to just go back and go back into the world of logic. If these people are on a pathfinding mission that they need to be in suspended animation for 600 years to travel from the Milky Way to Andromeda, to try and find a world where these 20,000 souls on this spaceship can settle and live and develop a society and whatnot and colonize because the Mass Effect relays are all destroyed now after Mass Effect 3. You would have thought these people, and I could be fucking crazy here. So if I am crazy, just tell me in the comments below. I'm sure plenty of you will. I would have thought that these people might just be trained. You know, trained in things like diplomacy, trained in survival, trained in combat, trained in multiple different facets. So the first thing that comes out of, well, not the first thing, because the guy's a fucking knob cheese, but one of the first things which comes out of Liam's mouth when you come across aliens for the first time, even though they're armed, even though they're kicking one of your party members around, not party members, but one of your crew from your shuttle around, one of the first thing that he says then is, let's just fucking shoot them. They're kicking in, let's just shoot them. Right. If somebody had that kind of attitude during the aptitude test, I would say this guy's probably not a good candidate to go on the pathfinding mission. Because this guy's got no patience. This guy wants to shoot everything in the face. Just little things like that. Sorry, I'll get back to where we are. But just little bits of logic, you know? Logic. Do you know what that is? It's a cool fucking thing to use every now and again. So anyway, you spread your arms open wide and you try and talk to these aliens and you can't speak, and then you're moving closer and closer, and if you get too close to them, then they'll open fire on you and you're forced. Put it this way, it's a preconceived event that you can't do anything about other than shoot the fucking aliens in the face. There's nothing else you can do. You can't disarm them. You can't take them out non-lethally. It's a scripted event where you have to kill them, making the process dull. Because no matter what you do, you can't be diplomatic. No matter what you do, even if they get aggressive, you can't not kill them. Now, I know they want these people to be set up as the villains, but this is not the way to do it. There's another way to do stuff like that. And I'll get to it a little bit later on. So you're forced to kill these people. The other guy can't come with you. He's got a broken leg, so you're just like, hang tight. At least we know where we are now. We'll get you out of here, you know, when we find everyone else. And then you can go on when I say side missions, you can explore this little area and come across different parts of the crew and save them. You don't have to. You can just go straight to the storyline bit and carry on, but you will leave certain crew members behind. Not crew members, I think, that really matter, but, you know, whatevs. And then you come across the down shuttle that your father was in, and You have to fight a group of creatures. There's a little bit of a horde mode. They come in a couple of waves. And this is where Liam just becomes unbearable. In actual fact, this is where you realise this whole game is going to be unbearable in a lot of places. Because you are on an alien... Oh God, sorry, I've got to set the scene, people, because you have to understand the scene. You're on an alien planet for the very first time. You've come across another alien species which are aggressive towards you. Now that, again, still doesn't mean it's all-out fucking war. It just means that you're at the moment unable to communicate with these people, and they could be just defending their territory. What would happen in reality if somebody started to fucking kick your door down and walk into your house and say, hello, this is my home? You don't know any different right now. You don't know anything about these creatures. So anyway, you start fighting against them, shooting them. Fair enough, you know. They're shooting. You can shoot back, according to the Prime Directive. And then there's this awful bit of dialogue during the shooting where they have these dogs, these like vicious dogs from Ghostbusters, which can cloak themselves. And one woman goes in the horde mode, she goes, "Are they dogs?" Because the dialogue is fucking Oscar worthy. Are they dogs? And the acting is just like straight out of fucking retard's mouth. And then Liam goes, "I wish they can make themselves invisible." And the woman goes, "No shit," or "Holy shit." And I was just like, oh God. Any tension, anything built up during this scene, gone. This game's not going to be about tension. This game's not going to be about building up anxiety or building up, some sort of emotional impact. This game's going to be full of fucking hot topic characters with quirky dialogue. Yeah. Hey, we're not going to be Shepard. We're not going to be a little bit more pragmatic. We're going to be like, yo, dude. And just spout inane dialogue during the combats. And it doesn't flow and it doesn't work. And it just makes you want to turn your gun and go, fuck it, I'll shoot my own teammates. Because you can't build up any tension when you've just got fucking dialogue written by a 4-year-old spouted out during the combat scenes. And you just feel like, shut up! We're being attacked by an alien race on an alien planet that's fucking shooting lightning bolts from the fucking from the atmosphere because that fucking weird alien fucking monolith over there, and all you're going is like, whoa, dude, I'm glad I had my fucking coffee before I came, yeah? Real fucking dumb, stupid, inane dialogue. So no tension, no emotional impact, nothing. Bland characters, stupidly written, annoying as fuck. No, we're just going to go from scripted set piece to scripted set piece, people. Fuck any sort of emotional weight. Fuck any sort of immersion. Let's just go from contrived set piece to contrived set piece. And you beat them off. I wish you fucking beat them off. It'd make the game a bit more interesting. You beat them off, and then you have to go and discover your dad. You got to go find your dad. And you got to explore this. You got to try and turn off this monolith, which is shooting its lightning bolts from the atmosphere, and then you can determine whether or not this planet's going to be habitable for you. Because logic. And all these enemy creatures are by this alien structure, and you have to shoot your way through. Now, never mind the fact that the AI is just beyond garbage. That your teammates, your father, they'll just like run past enemies. Just run past enemies and not even flinch. And then the enemies half the time won't even do anything about it anyway. Oh, it doesn't matter that one of their teammates is stood by me. I'll still keep shooting at you. So the AI just like takes you out because it's so fucking dumb. And then you get to this like horde point, this moment where your dad's got to open up a door. And your position, it's like trying to tutorial. You can press this button to put one of your teammates here. And you can press that button to put another one of your teammates here. And then you're going to be flanked on either side. And your dad's going to be working, trying to open this door. He's going to go into a horde mode. You're going to have 2 flanks, though. And you've got to make sure that both flanks are defended. So you've obviously got to jump from one of your team members to the other team member, help them out, yada, yada, yada. So I start off, when the horde mode begins, shooting the creatures at Cora's side. Or Cara, whatever the fuck, I don't know what she's called. Fucking Hot Topic trendy hair girl. Because that's all her personality is. Hot Topic trendy hair girl. And then I go to the other side. And I shoot this enemy dead at the other side. And Liam goes, whoa! I just made him really mad. Maybe because I shot him in the face. And I'm doing it now. I had my head in my hands and I was just... I think that was the moment that I started tweeting out who wrote this shit yesterday. And this is all, this is on stream as well. And I went back and I played it again this morning. I restarted the game, put it on a lower difficulty level so I could go through. And I was just blown away. So just like, what? Nobody speaks like this for a start. It's not just stupid, inane dialogue. No fucker speaks like this. It's not funny. It doesn't make you laugh. It makes you laugh in all the wrong ways. It makes you laugh at who is this fucking retard and which retard wrote this fucking garbage. Makes you laugh in that, but it doesn't make you laugh going, oh, Liam, you're so witty. It's so dumb. And wait a minute. Let me just think about the situation we're in. We're being attacked from either side in an alien planet which is shooting lightning bolts from the atmosphere which could blow us up at any time with an alien race that we've never met before shooting the fucking dicks off us. And Liam was go, well, I think it made him angry because I shot him in the face. So fucking dumb. Written by a moron. 4 morons, I think. So, this, again, moment which should be tense. It should have an impact. You should feel nervous about trying to defend your father. All this kind of stuff. All that emotional weight. No. We don't need emotional weight. We don't need emotional weight. We don't need to have any sort of tension in this game. We just need quippy dialogues from Hot Topic rejects. Unfucking-leavable! Not that you give a shit about your dad, because there's been no fucking development between characters. It's just like, there's your dad, he will die, because he's obviously the Pathfinder, we must get somehow the Pathfinder from him to you. Now, I'm not doing any spoilers. This is all within the first fucking hour of the game, people. This ain't spoiler stuff. It's obvious stuff. It's obvious stuff from the moment you fucking play the game. And then you fight off the horde again. You open up this door. Your dad somehow uses his Pathfinder technology to interact with the machine, which stops the lightning bolts from coming down. And then your dad's just like, well, yeah, we're cool, guy. Well, no, we are cool. This is now done. And then out of nowhere, you get hit by a blast of wind? An avalanche? There's no setup for it. What's hit you? Where did it come from? Why is it the only thing that hits you on this planet? And it's just a means to knock you and your father off a ledge so you land at the bottom of a cliff. There's just no setup for it at all. It doesn't make any sense. It's just come out of nowhere. And all it's there for, all that wind or that avalanche or whatever it is that propels you off the edge, all that's there for is for your helmet to smash so your father can take his helmet and put it on you and he dies because of the atmosphere of the planet and he passes the Pathfinder to you. It's just done as a nonsensical way of getting the Pathfinder from your dad to you. And your dad dies. Off camera. You don't even see him die because you black out and the game blacks out with you. And then you appear back on the spaceship saying, oh, look, he's coming around again. And then you get Dr. fucking Natalie Dormer. I love you, Natalie Dormer. Nothing about this is personal to you, Natalie. Call me. Please call me. Please, I'm fucking begging you, call me. I love you. And then Dr. Natalie Dormer comes in, does a typical look here and look here, because that's all the doctor does in it. That if you look left and you look right, apparently, you're fucking fine. And then you just get told your dad died. Oh, by the way, your dad died. And you kind of like, oh well, I'm Pathfinder now. Let's carry on. No emotional weight. None. Not a flicker of fucking emotion. You don't give a flying fuck. Your dad's dead. Yeah, whatever. Has anyone got any more coffee? There's just nothing. Nothing. You don't have that moment where you're just like, I never really knew my father, or I only knew him for a short time, or I knew him all my life, but I always felt I never quite understood him, and there's nothing that built any sort of characterization between you and your father, or developed a personality for you. You're just a fucking blank slate. All of them are blank slates. The Vulcans, they've got no fucking emotions. Nobody's got a fucking emotion. And then, because the animation is so goddamn fucking awful, there's no emotion on the face. There's no emotion anywhere. So you got this really bad voice acting, coupled with really terrible animation, really bad writing, and how the fuck are you meant to give a shit? How am I meant to give a flying fuck about any of this? Because you're writing it like a bunch of tards. No emotion, no tense, no intensity, no setup, no nothing, no weight, no impact, nothing. Nothing whatsoever at all. No fucks were given. And then your character just gets up and starts walking around, and every so often you'll bump into some people who will be completely brain dead. They're called the rest of the people in the game. But nobody, you might hear the odd person go, I'm sorry about your father, and you're just like, I don't give a fuck, mate. I don't give a fuck. I was written so badly, I don't give a fuck. No consequence, no nothing. The only consequence is, well, you're Pathfinder now, because we needed to establish a way to get the Pathfinder from your dad to you. That is it. Your dad is nothing more than a vessel to pass the Pathfinder to you. He's not an emotional crutch. He's not somebody that you're going to have any sort of emotional weight or impact with. No. No fucks were given by you at all. And it's just, if I can't, there in Mass Effect 3, there is an amazing scene. Well, I've mentioned one of them before, where the kid dies at the beginning. You save the kid, you promise to keep him alive, and then he gets killed by the Reapers. And then there's another scene where Ashley is badly damaged, badly injured. She's in a hospital, face is bruised to fuck. She's unconscious. You go in to see her, and Shepard gives this really, really beautiful 30-second odd speech. And then, when the kid was dying before, as well, when the kid was dying, everything was just on Shepard's face. Every bit of emotion, that anger, that helplessness on his face, everything was just done through the character. No words, no quippy dialogue, no fucking Liam in his ear going, whoa, dude, I shot him in the face, but that's pissed him off. None of this. It was done through very well-constructed acting, very well-constructed cutscene, very well-constructed event in the game. But here, Dad's dead. Who cares? Nothing has any weight. Nothing has any impact. You don't give any fucks. And in actual fact, after 5 hours of play, I couldn't give a shit. Now, I'm going to get to the point now in the video where people say, well, it gets better after 20 hours. I am not spending money on a fucking video game for it to get better after 20 hours. Why do I need to play through 20 hours of shit to get to a point, and this is all hypothetical as well, people. I don't think the game's gonna get better in terms of characterization, because these characters have been so fucking badly written in the first 5-6 hours that I've played that I can't see anywhere how they're going to suddenly make me give a shit. Because there's nothing whatsoever. If like Liam, let's just say for argument's sake, after hour 20 of Liam being a fucking quippy moron that does my fucking head in, he tells me that he has a wife and a child back on Earth, and they didn't get on the Pathfinder ship that they wanted to, and they actually died 568 years ago, and they died over half a century ago, and he just only found out now, and it's killing him. I won't give a fuck, because there's been no setup for me to give a fuck about these characters. So if they want to try and force that emotion onto you, it just won't work. Because you won't care about the characters, so you're just like, oh well. You'll be, the next fight scene, you'll be fucking giving out your one-liners. Like you've been doing the whole fucking game. Or, after 20 hours, let's say you got to sacrifice one of Liam or Cora. Because, you know, often there are cases where you have to sacrifice one of your party members in Mass Effect games. You won't give a fuck. Why would I give a fuck? Why? Oh, you've got to sacrifice Cora. Oh no, now let's start feeling an emotional impact because you're sacrificing one of the characters. Why? I don't give a fuck about them. I haven't given a fuck about them for the time of the game that I've been playing. Why? You're now trying to force something onto me that's just not going to happen. Because the characters have been so badly developed. So badly written. With such terrible garbage speech. That you just don't care. Don't give a fuck. Awful fucking writing. And not what I expect from the Mass Effect series. The Mass Effect series, especially, even one where I called it a flawed masterpiece, because you could see what they were trying to do, but there were just elements that they failed at doing. But they course-corrected in Mass Effect 2 and 3. There was weight. Those characters meant something. There was proper personalities behind them. There was proper development behind them that made you care. So if you did fuck up and they died, you were just like, oh no. Or if you did have to do a sacrificial moment, you were just like, no. Because you fucking cared because they were rounded, developed characters. And if you think that 6 hours into a game isn't enough to start developing a character, you're wrong. You're not, maybe, you're just wrong. 6 hours is plenty of time to have developed, or at least presented development of these characters. But none of them do. None of them have a personality from you all the way down to the other people of the ships. In actual fact, it's half the time. It's the side people that you speak to for about 3 seconds that come across as if they've got way more personality than anyone that you're having a proper interaction with for the majority of the time. And it's just awful. Now I'm going to briefly go into things like the combat system. I found the combat system dull as dishwater, annoying and frustrating. And somebody said to me, have you played the Mass Effect games before? And I said yes. And they said, clearly you haven't, because this is just like the combat of those games. And I was just like, dude, I have. The last Mass Effect game came out 5 fucking years ago. Now, maybe 5 fucking years ago, I liked this combat system because I knew no different. So I liked it. But in these 5 years, I've played multiple different games with multiple better combat systems, and I would have thought that 5 years later, half a fucking decade later, they would have evolved the combat system. You have this really frustrating element that if you want to crouch down, you've got to suck yourself up to some cover, and then the cover will automatically duck you down. You can't crouch, even though your side party members crouch, even though other members in the game crouch. NPCs standing by doorways guarding them crouched. Why? Dunno, because the animations are fucking awful. But you can't control that. You have to be sucked up, and it just feels clunky and dreadful. If you want to equip a weapon, you have to go to a loadout bay to equip it. So if you find something in the game, you find a weapon that's better than yours, unless you can go to a loadout bay, you can't change it. What the fuck? 5 years have passed since this bullshit. If you want to switch from your primary weapon to your secondary weapon, you have to open up a wheel to switch it. You have to stop combat to press a button to go into a wheel to switch your weapon. No quick switch weapons. This is basic fucking stuff which should have been fixed in 5 fucking years. Half a decade. Things have moved on. Things have progressed. This game hasn't. This game has regressed. This franchise, I should say, has regressed. Its combat system is stuck in 2012, and it doesn't work in 2017. The characters are moronic and brain dead. Why? Because we're all fucking idiots nowadays? Because we're all spoon-fed media and spoon-fed marketing that we're just fat cows that need to be fed? Force-feed them. What happened to any sort of weight? And then, now let's go and do some comparisons. You compare Mass Effect Andromeda to things like Horizon and The Witcher 3, and this comes across as a literal joke. Joke! And that's why I was laughing so much on stream playing it, because of how poor the dialogue was, how terrible the scripted events were, how little emotional impact there was. And you have Horizon, where you cared about the characters within a few hours, caring about Rost, caring about Aloy, caring about the other people that you come across, even the side people that you come across for just moments of the game. 10, 15 fucking minutes. More developed than any fucktard in Mass Effect Andromeda. And then The Witcher. And The Witcher, which I could gush all day about. With Geralt, a fully rounded, constructed protagonist that you believe in, that you love, that you care for. Triss Merigold, Yennefer, everybody that surrounds that franchise, all the side characters that they bring in. Everybody has weight. Everybody has personality. Everybody has an arc. Everybody has something about them. And then you play Mass Effect Andromeda, and it's just the big book of cliched retards. It is so fucking pathetic. Just garbage. Garbage. Now this morning, I got up at 5:30. And I came downstairs and I reset the game. I played for about 6 hours on stream yesterday. I reset the game, and like I said, I turned the difficulty level down and I started it from the beginning again. And I said to myself, with no distractions, with no, not thinking that you're there, you're on stream, you've obviously got to be entertaining on stream. With nothing like that, with just you and the game, does it feel any different? Does it feel any different at all? So I played for 3 hours this morning. On my own, no distractions, no stream to entertain, nobody to show off to, none of that. And after 3 hours, I couldn't give a fuck. And in actual fact, going off and doing the side missions was infinitely more enjoyable than playing the main storyline. Going off, leaving Cora and Liam, leaving Hot Topics behind, and going off and going into some side characters that you have very little interaction with, they came across as more believable. The storyline, the little quests came across as way more interesting than anything the main storyline had to offer. Anything the main storyline had to offer. And when I had to go back, when I completed these side quests in an area and I had to go back to the main mission, my heart fucking sank. Because I had to deal with fucking Big Mouth McGee and Trendy Muck Haircut. Again. And it just drove me fucking crazy. Just drove me fucking crazy. Now, I shouldn't feel this way about a game, really, should I? And the frustrating element is, I do like the Mass Effect franchise. I love Mass Effect 1, 2, 3. Again, I'm not going to pretend like they're my favourite games of all time. But, you know, number 2 should be in everybody's top 10 list, as I mentioned earlier. Should be in anybody's top 10 list of best games of all time. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But I do have love and respect for the Mass Effect franchise. I do have a lot of enjoyment. I got a lot of enjoyment from Mass Effect 3, finishing that. I got a lot of enjoyment finishing that amazing storyline arc. I got a lot of enjoyment from Mass Effect 2. And I got enjoyment from Mass Effect 1, even though it didn't quite hit the right notes. But this is insulting. Mass Effect Andromeda is insulting. It's insulting its audience. It's treating us like morons. It's written so badly that nobody could care. Nobody could care. Now, I've heard some people say, I really enjoyed this. And I've heard a lot of people say, this is fucking garbage. Now, the people that really enjoyed it, I'm not trying to sway you to my side. I'm not trying to lead you down an alleyway. I think I said in yesterday's stream. I'm not trying to lead you down an alleyway to say, hey, everybody, let's agree with me. If you like this, more power to you. But this is fucking garbage. And I have focused on this video, hour-long video so far. I have focused on the predominant points of storytelling, character development, script, and emotional weight. That's what I have focused on. I haven't focused on the really fucked up animations, which are fucked up. I haven't focused on the Ministry of Silly Walks. I haven't focused on the glitches. I've just briefly mentioned these, which are everywhere. Everywhere. Your characters look like soulless fucking husks. But I have focused predominantly in this hour on the fundamentals. The storytelling, the emotional weight, the scripting, all that kind of jazz. So it's not as if I'm being unfair about a game which could be fixed by some potential patches, which aren't going to be there at launch, and who knows if they ever come in. But this game is insulting. It's insulting in its storytelling. It's insulting in its script. It's insulting in its characters. And it's treating us like more... It's literally living off the back of Mass Effect 1, 2, 3. That's what it seems to be. This... And to say it's a cash-in would be correct. And at the same time feels inaccurate. Because there's been 5 years since Mass Effect 3 and Mass Effect Andromeda. You would have thought in 5 fucking years they would have developed a beaut. They would have developed something as emotional impacting, as developed as the first Mass Effect trilogy. And we should be going into Mass Effect Andromeda thinking, wow, this is going to take us on another amazing, maybe possible trilogy of games in a new galaxy with a new threat, and you just don't give a shit. You just don't give a flying fuck about anything. So actually, I'm going to leave this video with no examples. I'm just going to leave this video as a podcast in itself. I think this video has spoken for itself. I don't think I need to put the video examples in this, because I think I've said everything that needs to be said. You know, we don't need to see the silly faces. We don't need to see the silly walks. We don't need to see the impact scenes. You go Google them. That's your homework for this video. Go Google Mass Effect 3 Kid Dies. Go Google Shepard Hospital Ashley. You know, you go Google these wonderful little moments of the game where you go Google top 10 deaths in Mass Effect 3 and stuff like that. And realize that these deaths actually had genuine impact. These deaths were of characters which were fully developed. And then if you use that attitude And if you use that mentality, then you yourself will even start to feel something. But this tripe, which I played yesterday, this utter tripe that I played yesterday with the bland, empty, soulless husks, no characterization, no emotional weight, no shits given. Well, if I don't give a shit, I ain't buying your game. I ain't. So I was happy to have cancelled my pre-order. Is this a game that I could pick up in the future? I don't know. I could be tempted if it was 20 quid, you know? But even then, would I put the time in? Would I put the time in to invest my time in a game where 6 hours into it, I couldn't give a flying fuck about anything? I could probably use my time better elsewhere, to be honest with you. So there we go. AZCHATS 73 in the bank. I hope you enjoyed the vid. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of Mass Effect fanboys and fangirls going apeshit with me in the comment section. But please do bear in mind, this is an opinion. You're entitled to yours. I'm entitled to mine. And also, I don't read the comment section because it's full of shit. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up. And also subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links, they're in the description down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.